Okay.
So, hi, we're here with Joan Powell-Barnes. She's a recent graduate of the MSc HRD program, and she has very kindly consented to come and have a little chat with us today for the benefit of the current students and, of course, for people to come. So, Joan, remind us, when did you graduate from the MSc HRD program?
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Miss Thomas. I graduated in November 2020. I'm a part of cohort 21.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And you did very well. You got a distinction. What does
Yes,
that
I
mean? What does that mean? It means you got a bag of A's. It means that you graduated with what, 70% of our courses, at least 70% of our courses with an A grade. You had an overall average of A, and you did not fail anything for the 2 years that you were with us. So you did very well.
That's correct. That's correct. You know, I really committed to what I was doing. I am living in Portland. I am from Portland. And as a result of that, I had to travel into Kingston for classes every day. And, you know, I really set a goal that I really wanted to graduate this program with a distinction. And I really put in the hard work. It was very challenging. Even traveling back and forth from Portland to Kingston was really hard, right? But I committed to the task. And as a result of that, at the end of it, I received what I wanted, which is a distinction from this program.
So what was your process? You said you committed, you worked hard. What exactly did you do?
Okay, so I am an employee at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education, and I am also a full-time employee. I am also a mother of 2 children. I am a wife, right? So you can just imagine the amount of things that I had to balance in trying to do this program. So before I started the program, you know, I really set some goals. And I said to myself, okay, I am going to be doing this. So I need to ensure that, you know, I manage my time carefully. I will have to find a way to balance all that I have to do in order to achieve this goal of graduating from this MSc program with distinction.
Sorry, so you say that your thing was that you managed your time well. Can you give me some sort of idea what you did? You studied on weekends, you had group work. Group work is a feature of the program. How did you manage that?
Yes, so I would study on a weekend whenever I get the chance. Initially, we started out with face-to-face, then COVID came and changed that. So when it was face-to-face, I had to travel into Kingston many weeks on the weekends for group meetings. So we would schedule our group meetings on a Saturday in the afternoon, and we will all meet up on UWI campus, and we would, you know, flesh out whatever the group assignment is, and you know, each individual member of the group would have been assigned a particular area to be done. And yes, we did work as a team.
So the teamwork thing worked for you. I know that a lot of students rail against that. They don't want to be part of the group. So how did you manage that? What did you do? How did you manage the personalities? You listened to Miss Morgan, well, I can imagine.
Yes, and I also did well. I did well in that course as well.
No, but I mean, you practice what she preached.
Yes.
How did you share up the work? How did you prepare? I mean, obviously you didn't wait for the last minute to do anything. So it was just a disciplined approach.
Right. Well, I must say the group that I was in was, there was quite a few of us who are, you know, mature individuals. There were also some young persons in the group, but I must say, without a shadow of a doubt, we were all committed to the task. everyone wanted to do well. That group combination was well put together, I must say. We initially, you know, in the norming and the storming phase and so on and so forth, there was some, you know, little personality clashes and so on, but we are mature individuals, so we understand what it was, you know, to achieve the goals that we wanted to achieve, and all the members of the group wanted to complete the program, you know, with a high grade or a high class of award. So we managed to put aside any personality differences and work together as a team.
So how did you do? You met to study, or you just met for assignments?
We met for assignments. We also met for studying. Because I am from all the way in Portland, the studying aspect of it was somewhat challenging. But yes, we did meet closer to like when we would have exam to meet up as a group to go through some information at some point in time. Maybe not all the members in the group, but persons would meet up together to go through information.
All right, so what would be your best advice to students who want to do well in MSc HRD?
Okay, my best advice to students would be to ensure that you attend your classes. It is important. And while I am traveling from Portland and it's far, I have never missed a class. I ensure that I attend all my classes. The information that you get in class and the explanation, it is invaluable. Also, the feedback, you're able to interact with your lecturers. And if it's a case that you're not clear with something, then you have the opportunity to seek clarification from that lecturer there and then. So it is very, very important that you attend all your classes. Not just to attend classes, but try as best as possible to be active, an active learner. You know, ensure that you go, ensure that you listen attentively, ensure that you take your own notes, right? And as I said before, if there is anything that you're not clear with, ensure that you seek clarification from your lecturer or even another class member or a classmate.
Okay, so those things worked for you. Did you have any difference in your process, coursework versus exams?
Could you
Was
repeat
it,
that one?
no, I was just asking if you had any differences in the process for preparing for coursework versus preparing for exams, or was it all just a disciplined step-by-step approach? No rushing, no crisis management of anything.
Um, there was a difference, yes, because as I said before, being employed, being a full-time employee and balancing everything else, the amount of time that I would want to have committed to studying throughout the semester was not there. But one thing I always do, whatever available time I have, I ensure that I commit that time to studies. So what I would do, even when I am at home, I would, when everyone else is off to sleep and so on, then in the wee hour of the morning, that's the time that I would try to get some rest early. And then I would wake up and then I would start the process of going through the information. Because what I can advise students is that try not to leave everything for last minute. If you do so, you're going to run into problem. It is difficult to absorb all that information, you know, in a short period of time. So what I try to do is I try to read whenever I have the time. When I am traveling, I would take my books, even if it is a situation that I am not having that class, but I would still walk with or travel with all my books to ensure that if I have any free time in between, I try to do some reading or practicing for those calculation courses.
Oh, I'm sitting here thinking you drove yourself in, so you would be sitting and somebody driving you and you're studying on the way to Kingston.
No, I drove myself in.
Okay.
So I would leave work. I would leave work a little earlier during the days. and I would head off to Kingston. So usually I would get into Kingston before the time for class to start.
Okay.
So whenever I get into Kingston, I would rest a little bit in the car, and then, you know, I would probably go through some information or maybe practice a question if it's a stats exam coming up, or data analysis.
Okay, wonderful. So anything else to tell the students? You've been quite
Yes.
clear for me, but yes.
Yes, so as I said before, time management is very important. Another thing that they need to understand is that when you're studying, you need to try as best as possible to understand the information that you're studying. And what do I mean by understand the information? So I am a very practical person. So usually what I do when I am reading, whatever content I am covering, right, I would ensure that I try to relate it to something practically that is happening in society. That way I get a better understanding of what the concept is. And even when I'm required to write my exams or to do an in-course exam or even to do a research paper, right, I am better able to answer those questions in a proficient way.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So congrats again. You did very well here. I hope you're considering your PhD now.
Thank you very much. It is in my mind, it is in the thoughts. I haven't come to a decision just yet. You know, as I said before, I'm a wife and I am a mother, so I have to ensure that I balance every aspect of my life, which is very important, right? So it's something that I am thinking about.
And even that last comment there, the fact is that you're here to study in a master's program, but you also have to have other things happening. So you have to be
Right.
with your family, but you also have to have some fun. You have to still maintain your friendships, because after the 2 years, you're going back to that same set of people. Well, sometimes you're not, but the fact is that there is a life to go back to after the 2 years.
Right.
So don't do this to the exclusion of everything else. I would add that.
I I totally agree. I totally agree, Ms. Thomas. You have to ensure striking that balance is very, very important. So you have to find a way to manage what you're doing to ensure that nothing gets left behind. Very important. And I also want to say to the students that it is very, very, we spoke about group work and working as a team. It is very, very important to form that network, right, in college, because no one individual knows everything. And actually what we did in our group was to draw on each other's strengths, right? So for me, I am very good with mathematical or calculation courses. So if someone in my group, and not just my group, but in the class, if they have any challenges or whatever, and I can provide assistance, you know, I ensure that I always help. And in doing so, it helps me to understand the concepts better. So we can't be selfish in what we're doing. We need to try as best as possible to help as much persons as we go along the way, and to ensure that we form that network, right? We can't do it alone. We need to rely on each other's support to get us through and get us through successfully.
Wow, well said, well said. So thanks again, Joan Powell-Barnes. Welcome back to the MSc HRD program. And
Thank you
what
for
good
having me.
enough. I hope we'll see you again soon. All right.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Okay, it was a pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah,
All right.
man. Thanks a lot.
All good.
All right. Bye-bye.